thousands of years, people have been living harmoniously with the environment. But with development comes challenges, like climate change, for which the effects continue to be felt globally. Indigenous peoples like the Maya have, for centuries, had a symbiotic relationship with the environment.
In the indigenous communities, men, women, and children, work together to till the soil, because as we know, the indigenous communities depend on the forest for their livelihood.
The forest is a natural stabilizer, right? The forest is important for the carbon cycle, for biodiversity, for agro-producers and for producers overall. It has a level of balancing when it comes to communities that actually live within that ecosystem.
A sustainable forest management program just outside Conejo Village in the Toledo district is a clear example of that sustainable relationship forged between people and environment. Maya from Boom Creek, Santa Teresa, and Conejo villages engage in harvesting of timber, including the heavily regulated rosewood, which falls under the Convention of International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Fauna and Flora, while following specific guidelines set out by the Forest Department, which provides technical support. While extraction is taking place, there is a level of commitment to replant.
In early 2008, the communities of Santa Teresa and Conejo, they had established a community-based sustainable forest enterprise. And in early 2017, they had made a submission to Forest Department, and they were being granted to recompartmentalize their compartments, which is a bigger units now. They have a 1 kilometer square. For Conejo, it has 20 years of forest concession, and for Quecheha, they have a 25 years license. They had been receiving several trainings in terms of establishment of compartments, cutting ski trails, doing stock inventory, and development of maps, and also been receiving trainings in basic accounting. And now Conejo is one of the community that leads in that make very progress now, harvesting their logs sustainably.
3 generations of Maya men who go out on a weekly basis to harvest the trunks of fully matured hardwoods, which is then processed and sold. Economic opportunities generated from this community effort, which is done through partnership with government departments and non-governmental groups, do not only seek to conservation efforts, but also the preservation of cultural heritage.
They hired people on a rotational basis. In terms of development of their APOs, they have guys that have done field works, and those guys that will be doing field works, and they will be collecting data, and those guys that will be the ones that doing all the field works. And they have guys that do milling as well. They have guys that do milling, and that's another section. And the other part of it is that the security, and that's the third section they have done. And the other fourth part is that they have to have elders. They have right now, they have 3 elders. 3 elders of the community have been receiving stipend from the community at this time. On the last 2 years, they had fenced their school compound, and they have at that time, before COVID, they were the school children and doing the gardening.
This brings into sharp focus the many benefits to keeping the integrity of the environment intact, not only because it helps with mitigation efforts in the response to the dynamism of climate change, but because it is a valuable asset. But data collected over the years has shown that the pillaging of forest products through incursions and unsustainable harvesting has threatened the integrity of Belize's forests. Intervention comes in the form of an enhanced collaboration with organizations such as the National Climate Change Office, and REDD Plus Belize is expected to strengthen activities in the protection of this rich resource.
We have been impacted greatly by deforestation and degradation, basically because of the types of activities that have been happening. Belize is a developing country. We're trying to build our economic resilience along with balancing our conservation activities. We have seen a lot of deforestation from urban developments, from tourism developments, along with agriculture. Agriculture includes farming for pastures, cattle rearing, along with mechanized farming, so rice productions, etc. So those are the main drivers of deforestation that we have found, in addition to natural disasters. So, you know, we have been impacted by hurricanes. We have wildfires that we have almost every year, especially in certain areas, certain forest types.
We have 3 general mandates, right? We're responsible to coordinate everything climate change related for the country. This is looking at adaptation, climate finance, loss and damage, climate change technology. We're also responsible to mainstream everything related to climate change for the country. So, and finally, to coordinate. Some of them, they work hand in hand. As an office, for the most part, we see ourselves as that conduit, that go-between, for not only capacity building, but for matchmaking when it comes to climate finance.
As government leaders work on mitigation at the policy level, you too can do your part to minimize carbon footprint by changing your daily routines and appreciating the environment, because climate change affects everyone differently.